It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. And the new schools are closed today and Friday for all Wayne County students. All extracurricular activities for Thursday and Friday have been canceled. Today's a work day for all certified employees and maintenance staff. Employees working Thursday will be released at 2 p.m. unless weather conditions necessitate an earlier time. On Friday, all school administrators and maintenance staff who can safely return to work should do so. If you're unable to return, please notify your supervisor. Again, that's released Wednesday afternoon from the interim school superintendent Tony Williams and the Board of Education. All this due to the approaching storm. And here's the latest from our EMA Director Donnie Ray this morning. It says our area will see conditions rapidly deteriorate late today. Will begin to improve around sunrise Friday as the storm is moving at a high pace. Unlike Debbie, which moved very slowly and dumped a lot of rain throughout southeast Georgia, Wayne can expect to see a lot of rain. With this storm, heavy winds and the fear is falling trees and power lines and power outages throughout the area. There's also potential for several tornadoes in the southeast Georgia. EMA Director Donnie Ray continually monitoring the storm and providing updates on what impact this will have on our area, and should see the full effect late this evening, hopefully out of the area by sunrise Friday morning. Governor Kemp has called a state of emergency for the state of Georgia is prepared to deploy 500 National Guard troops to heavily affected areas. State leaders in GEMA say this will be a more expensive storm for the state of Georgia than Hurricane Debbie was. They're asking everyone to avoid non-essential travel if possible. Once again, schools for Wayne County school system closed today and tomorrow. Again, today's a work day for all certified employees and maintenance staff. Again, they'll be working to around 2 p.m. unless weather dictates otherwise. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor or other commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news, District Attorney Keith Higgins, in an unprecedented move, has notified all 5 counties in the Brunswick Judicial Circuit that his office will no longer handle juvenile court in the district beginning October 1st. So the 5 counties are scrambling to determine how juvenile court will work in their counties. This past Monday, our Wayne County Commissioners met for 2.5 hours and made several decisions. For more on what the Commissioners decided, here's County Administrator Paul Drawdy.
County Administrator Paul Drawdy, big meeting Monday, unprecedented move. The DA's announced that he's not handling juvenile court, something no one's ever seen. So the commissioners had to meet and decide what they're going to do. So just to run down what all was decided on Monday.
The basic motion that was put forth on Monday was that it's going to, and what we've looked at is it'll cost us approximately $30,000 a year to contract with a private attorney to handle juvenile court. So in talking to the county attorney, Mr. Beaver, he and I both agreed that probably the best thing that we could do as a county is run those services through the state solicitor's office. So that is what the commission agreed to do when they made the motion that we would run that juvenile prosecutor position through the state solicitor's office, and that money would then be it would basically be allocated from the funds that we currently send him.
And they also want you to fund 3 positions, and they agreed to do that. And the good news is it's not going to affect the budget at this point. Is that correct? So explain that process. That's
right. So we currently have, our cost on the DA's office here in Wayne County is right around $268,000. We send to him what we call a DA's grant, which is $254,000 a year is what we send him for salaries and for operating costs on the building. So when you back that $30,000 for the juvenile prosecution, when you back it out, that leaves him with $224,000. The positions he's asked us to take on as Wayne County employees, since Glenn County's not going to handle payroll services anymore, he doesn't have the ability to provide benefits for those employees. So that literally leaves us with no choice but just for Wayne County to pay those folks. If not, obviously, they're going to quit. And we're looking at it from a standpoint of what's best for Wayne County citizens. And if that office shuts down, it's obviously not good for the folks here in Wayne County. So in order to keep it open, we've agreed to take on those 3 employees, which is 2 legal assistants and a victim's advocate, and then pay the state supplements to those state-paid attorneys that are in that office. That cost was $169,000 a year, so it leaves somewhere around $55,000 left over from his budget for operating expenses. So in other words, all the cost of that is going to be handled with that initial, or with what we've budgeted for the last 2 years for his office, that $254,000.
It was clear the commissioners were not happy, so they did request some other things. They did request an audit be done of his office. Also, they decided to take that 5% money that he gets on each case and have that directly towards the county commission budget instead of his budget, and also they asked for an intergovernmental agreement to make sure those employees are, going to at least work mostly in Wayne County. So explain those three items.
Yep, that's correct. So what the commission decided to do is the motion was made that, well, let me back up. When I first told you that our total budget for the DA's office was around $268,000, and I'm going off memory here. $8,400 of that was a direct supplement that goes directly to the district attorney, Mr. Higgins, as part of his pay. So he's a state paid employee, and then all 5 counties contribute a supplement from the county, and I think years ago it might have been based on population, because I know Glenn County and Camden's supplement is larger than ours, but our supplement's $8,400 that goes directly to him as part of his payroll. So the commission has decided to withhold that supplement of $8,400 until we receive an audit from his office that's going to account for all the finances of the accounts that he oversees.
Okay, and there's one more proposal still on the table. You thought it'd be good to have a third attorney paid by the county, but they're still going to make that decision a later date. That seemed to be the backlash on Monday. It
was, and so obviously because at one time I was an employee at the DA's office, I have a good knowledge of what it takes to run that office. And when I talked to Mr. Higgins, I told him that I thought that just having 2 attorneys and 2 legal assistants, they're going to barely be able to keep their head above water. And that concerns me because, once again, that directly affects Wayne County citizens. So what I've asked the commission to do is fund that third attorney that's over there now. In May, they hired a young gentleman who just passed the bar. And I know he's been doing a lot of good work in that office, and I really think that the 3 attorneys they have over there now are doing some good work. I know at the beginning of the year their caseload was around 800 and some odd cases, and they're down to around 560 now. He's moving a lot of cases. They're able to keep, we're no longer having, first initial inmates that gets put in our jail that we have to pay for, the citizens of Wayne County pay for. Those folks were sitting there 90 days and more, and that's not happening anymore since they brought him on. Along with the fact that, if they have issues, if the sheriff has issues with an inmate in the jail, they're able to kind of get in there quickly and handle some bond issues so those folks can get out on bond. So all of that helps Wayne County citizens. So my proposal to the commission is that the only part of this recommendation out of the other 3 motions that would cost Wayne County a little bit more money would be that third attorney. I know that Mr. Beaver used to work for Miss Jackie Johnson, and John Johnson was in the audience that day, and both of them agreed that office needs 3 attorneys. To work efficiently and smoothly, it needs 3 attorneys. Can we do it with 2? Yes. But I'm a little afraid of the strain that it's going to put on not only the sheriff's office, but the judicial system as well, because when cases start backing up and we get that large caseload, that's when basically victims aren't getting their justice in a timely manner. So that one proposal they decided to explore a little bit more, and I think they're going to make a decision later on, possibly maybe at the October meeting. I'm not sure.
Okay, Paul, thanks.
Thank you, Bob.
And once again, those comments to County Administrator Paul Drawdy. Again, the first day of juvenile court in Wayne County is October 3rd, so the county commissioners had to act quickly. DA still close to $1 million in debt to Glenn County, and the Glenn County commissioners still attempting to work out an agreement with the DA on how they'll be paid back that money owed. Again, Wayne County asking for an audit of the DA's office and withholding that $8,400 that is normally paid annually to the DA as part of his salary. Again, not a lot of happy commissioners on Monday. Drawdy says he's simply looking out for the best citizens, or the best interests of the citizens of Wayne County. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes and news, we're just 39 days away from the general election on November 5th, and the last day to register to vote to be able to vote in that general election is October the 7th. Advanced voting is going to begin in Wayne County on Tuesday, October the 15th, and run through Friday, November 1st. Early voting will take place Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. The election registration building located at 306 East Pine Street here in Jesup. 2 Saturdays of early voting. Those dates are October the 19th and October the 26th. Time of the early voting dates, or the time on the Saturday early voting dates are from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. If you have any questions about early voting or how to register to vote, call the Wayne County Registrar's Office. That number is 912-427-5950. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the city of Jesup going to have the annual pinking of the fountain ceremony on Tuesday, October 1st at 12 noon. Program will begin inside the Jesup Depot Community Room with refreshments. City Manager Nick Ellis will give the welcome. Introduce the two speakers. The guest speakers will be Deborah Wynn and Angie Sturgill, breast cancer survivors. After closing remarks by radiologist Dr. Tyler McKinnon, the crowd will gather outside the fountain for a group picture and pinking of the fountain. And the public invited to attend, encouraged to wear pink. Again, that's taking place on Tuesday, October the 1st. Chamber of Commerce gearing up for their State of Wayne County, a quarterly membership luncheon scheduled for October 24th from 11 to 1 at Coastal Pines Technical College. Guest speakers that day will be County Administrator Paul Andrade, along with the three mayors, Jesup Mayor Ralph Hickok, Soda Mayor Greg Leggett, and Scriven Mayor Jason Weaver. Tickets available at the Chamber of Commerce office, $30 for members, $40 for non-members. Everyone is invited to attend. Need more information, contact the Chamber at 912-427-2028. And that'll do it for latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.